This is my dream single monitor setup for 2024. I've been building out this second desk setup at my parents' over the last few years and make small additions each time I come back. The purpose of this setup is to be as minimal as possible while still allowing me to make these videos and work as a software developer. So the desk build itself is unchanged from the last few years, but uses two IKEA Alex drawers and a butcher block from Home Depot resting on top. This is honestly one of the only upgrades I really feel is left to make. I've been wanting to swap out the drawers for a standing desk, but haven't got around to it yet. The tabletop is 5 feet long and 30 inches deep, which I found to be the perfect size to fit this single monitor along with all of my peripherals. The thickness is about 1.5 inches, which makes it more than sturdy enough to clamp a monitor to it. So for my chair, I have a replica Eames soft pad executive chair from Sona that I've really enjoyed. I've had a similar chair from Sona in my home setup that I used for a while and was fine, but I think both are a little on the pricey end. This one specifically is $800, and for that price, there's definitely better options, but I have found that this stays incredibly comfortable throughout the day. This was still a big upgrade from my previous IKEA match spell chair, which granted for $300 wasn't a terrible deal, but not nearly as comfortable. At home, I have a Herman Miller Embody that retails for $2,000, but if you're sitting at a desk all day, spending the money on something like that is, in my opinion, well worth the money. So for my audio setup, to save room, I've not bought speakers, but instead got another pair of DT990 Pros to keep here. If you've been watching my videos over the last year, you would know how much I love these headphones because they're just super comfortable and sound incredible. The open back design isn't the best if you live in a noisy environment, but otherwise make for a very natural sound signature. I pair them with the Audient Evo 4 interface that I plug a Shure MV7 into over an XLR cable from Cable Matters. The mic is mounted on the Rode PSA-1, which I have clamped to the desk, and I prefer low profile arms like the Elgato Wave Arm, but this does the job. This is a great microphone with a similar sound to the SM7B, but doesn't require a cloud lifter. You don't actually need an interface to use it, but I prefer the added control you get when you use something like the Evo 4. Mainly, the volume knob at top is really nice to quickly adjust the volume. At the right side of the desk, I have my M3 Pro MacBook Pro sitting on top of a laptop stand. For $40, I'm really happy with this as it lets me keep my laptop to the side so I can use peripherals with my monitor, but still have it as an extended display. At the backside, there's a hole you can run cables through to keep them tidy. Even without a monitor, this stand props up your laptop to eye level so that you can have a better posture. On the bottom is extra storage where you could keep your keyboard when not in use. Along with this, I bought a cheap USB hub from Anker that plugs into the side of the Mac rather than having a dock, as I didn't want to spend hundreds of dollars on a nice one. This works perfectly fine as it gives me two USB-A ports, which is what I cared most about. It plugs into the left side of the Mac and additionally gives you USB-C pass-through along with an HDMI port and SD and microSD card slots. To connect my monitor, I still use the Mac's built-in HDMI port as the dock limits you to 4K at 60Hz. Since adding HDMI 2.1 to the Mac, it supports the monitor's full 144Hz at 4K. This is the Gigabyte M32U, and it's still one of the best value high refresh rate 4K monitors for both gaming and productivity. I've worked on a 34-inch ultrawide for years now, but every time I use this monitor, I remember just how much I actually like this size. Out of the box, colors are quite accurate, which is perfect for editing within DaVinci Resolve. When gaming, 4K will give a massive performance hit, but if you're mostly playing single player games, the 32-inch size of this monitor and the clarity that resolution gives you makes it look fantastic. I have my PS5 behind the laptop stand, and it works perfectly when connected to this monitor. VRR is fully supported, and I've never experienced any flickering issues like I've seen some people mention online. Every game I've played on here, from Minecraft to Valorant to Cyberpunk, looks fantastic and makes this a display I can easily recommend. I have it attached to a VESA arm from Ergear, which is a bit pricey at $70, but in my opinion is well worth the money. This is a gas spring arm, which makes it incredibly smooth and easy to adjust so that you don't need to use an Allen wrench every time. On top of my monitor, I bought a BenQ screen-bar monitor light, and I've had one of these on every monitor I've used in the last few years. It's such a small update that I think makes a significant difference to your setup. The controls at top are really easy to use and allow you to quickly set the brightness and color temperature. Under the monitor, I have an Echo Show 5, which I've used as a desk clock. Though literally while finishing up the script for this video, I got distracted on Amazon and found out that Amazon released an update updated Echo Spot, which is the follow-up to a previously discontinued Echo that I actually have at home and you guys ask about all the time. I absolutely love its circular design, and it's very convenient if you use Alexa-enabled home office accessories. For my keyboard, I bought the Logitech MX Keys Mini, and this was mostly meant to just be a compact travel keyboard, but I've fallen in love with this. I'm typically a mechanical keyboard guy, but there's something I love about typing on the MacBook keyboard, and this provides a very similar and honestly better feel. It's lightweight, but the travel is solid for its size, and it feels really satisfying. The LED backlights automatically turn on when you hold your fingers over them, which conserves a lot of energy. The only thing I don't like is that the function key is placed to the right of the control key, which is destroying all of the muscle memory I've built up for various different keyboard shortcuts, but otherwise this is a keyboard I didn't expect to like so much. For my mouse, I usually use an MX Master 3S, but for traveling, wanted to try the MX Anywhere 3S. This is a much smaller mouse, but I love the feel of the rubber sides along with the mouse buttons. I do miss the side scroll wheel, especially while editing, but it's so compact that it's worth the trade-off. I also got a nice travel case that I can clip to my backpack, and that's super clutch. Underneath the mouse, I use the Delta Hub Carpio, which is a small wrist rest, mainly meant to raise your wrist to prevent any strain. Underneath both the mouse and keyboard is a Nordic vegan leather desk mat that, for the price, I'm incredibly impressed with. This was only like $20, and of course, while not real leather, it still feels and looks great. It's large enough to give plenty of room to move around my mouse and cover up the table. At the top, there's a loop for cable management that you can run a single cable through, and the material on the underside makes it so that the mat isn't sliding around. So this has been my single monitor desk setup for 2024. I'm really happy with how this space has come together, as it's a very cozy setup I love to work and game at. Let me know which of these products was your favorite, and then watch this video next where I go over some additional setup upgrades that I regret not making sooner. Take care.